Hi there, it's Heather. Welcome to my channel. If you're joining me from Ashfield Arts Festival, then hello, thank you very much for coming along to see my channel and the video today. I hope you're enjoying the rest of the festival and that you've seen some really interesting things. I've already seen a couple of videos which are really great, a poetry reading and some information about local history. So it's great that locals can get together and share some knowledge and experience some arts in this area. So I'm really proud to be part of this event. So today I wanted to share with you how I make these gorgeous little concertina file folders. These can be used for numerous things. In the junk journaling world, they're fantastic for holding things like ephemera. You can make them as big or small as you like. They're great for giving as gifts. You could pop little gifts like hot chocolate, tea bags, little letters and things like that in them. And they're so quick and easy to make. You could even use them to, if you made them a little bit bigger, to pop greeting cards in, so that you can make sure that you're ready for all of those occasions when you have to give a greetings card for somebody. Perhaps even pop little file tabs on them to remind you which month it is and be able to take your card straight out of there. Or you could use it as a junk journal in itself. You could use envelopes that you've taken from recycling and reuse those, and use card that's from recycling, and you could add things like your own poetry or turn it into an art journal and add your own drawings and all your art in there as well. So hopefully you'll find this useful. It's nice, quick, simple and hopefully fairly easy, because I know I have to make this particular video less than an hour, so we'd better crack on. So these are two that I made before, just to show you as an example. And these are the materials that you'll need if you're going to make along as well. So you're going to need some envelopes. Now I'm not recycling envelopes in this case, because I do have quite a lot of envelopes in the type of business that I run. And today I wanted to make this a rainbow file folder come journal. So I'll be using pretty rainbow coloured envelopes. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? Who fails to love a rainbow of colour like that? Absolutely gorgeous. You're also going to need a piece of card. Now obviously it doesn't matter what size envelopes you choose, it's the envelopes that you've got available. Mine happen to be C6 sized, but you could use, as in the case of the larger one that I did, you could use C5 sized or even C4 sized if you wanted, or any size envelope that you want. So that choice is up to you, but you'll need a piece of card that is larger in width than your envelopes. If I turn this over, so you can see here that I've chosen a piece of card that is slightly wider and that is just over double the length, because what you're going to do is use this as the folder cover, and you have to be able to completely cover the envelopes like that. So you only need to cut it slightly larger, but it has to be at least double the size and a little bit more. And plus I always do them just very slightly wider, because you can make sure that you're definitely going to fit your envelopes in. And if you don't get them quite square, then you've still got a tiny little bit of wiggle room. So, but you can cut it the same width, as long as it's at least the same width as the envelopes, if that makes sense. So piece of card and as many envelopes as you want. I'm using 7. And you're also going to need some ribbon if you want to be able to tie your little folder closed. And you're going to need some good craft glue. I use Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue, which is a white glue that dries clear. It dries fairly quickly and I find it's very, very strong. But I also use a 3-in-1 craft glue, which is absolutely fantastic, especially when you're sticking down things like fabric. But you can use anything really, as long as it's going to stick and stay stuck. So you could use double-sided tape possibly, or even glue stick if you know that it's a really good one. So the first thing that you're going to do is take your envelopes. These ones aren't sealed, they're not ones that have been used in the past. So what we're going to do is take the craft glue and we're going to seal all the envelopes. Now usually when I'm using glue on camera, for some reason it doesn't come out of the bottle, so that was fantastic because it came straight out of the bottle because I had the foresight to use my pin. So there we go, so I've just put in some glue on the envelope flap and then I'm going to seal it closed, and I'm going to do that for all of the envelopes. Now if you don't have many envelopes to play with, you could always use less envelopes but just cut them in half. So that's a possibility. Maybe if you only have sort of 3 or 4 envelopes at your disposal, you could get away with doing that. These are actually the moisten and stick envelopes, but I think I trust my craft glue a little bit more, and I want to make sure that it's sealed at the corners. So we're going to seal every envelope like that. Okay, so that's all the envelopes sealed. We're just going to leave those to dry for a moment. Now, because we're going to use the ribbon to keep the folder closed, what we want to do is stick that on the inside cover like that. It's actually going to be covered by one of the envelopes, but we still want to make sure that it's glued down well. So you might want to just pop a little bit of tape over the top, just to make sure that it's held in place. I'm going to go ahead and just use a craft glue and hope for the best. Now you want to pop it sort of in the middle, and put plenty of glue. And I want mine to be in approximately the same place, so I just close that slightly, give me a general idea of where to put the other ribbon. That's fine, so I'll just pop just going to pop a tiny bit more glue up at the top, make sure it's as far up as the edge of the cover. Okay, right, now while that is drying on the side there, we're going to go back to our envelopes. Now like I said, if you don't have many envelopes, you could easily just use this and cut them in half. But what we're going to do is, now we've sealed them, we're actually going to cut the edge of each envelope because we're going to use them as a pouch. So I'm actually going to use a guillotine, but you could easily use scissors if that's what you've got. So I'm just going to take my guillotine and just shave off just the tiniest part of the edge. Literally, that's all I'm shaving off, and that's just enough to open the envelope up so that we can use it as a pouch. So I'm going to do that on the edge of every single envelope. and you can see how tiny the pieces of paper are that I've taken off the edge. It's literally just a sliver because we don't want to waste any of the envelope. We want them to be plenty of space in there. So discard those, and what we're going to do next, as I think that's dry now, we're going to attach them into the folder cover, like so. Now I think that will probably be the front cover, so I'm actually going to turn those over and I'm going to use the red one first. Now, how I do this is the first envelope that I stick down, I'll just move these out of the way because I'm going to do the first one and the last one to start with. I take the envelope and I will cover the whole of the envelope and stick that down on the cover, and I want it to be well stuck down. So I'm actually popping glue around each of the edges. Whoops. So that will then stick in the front. Obviously you need to make sure that your opening is at the edge, the opening edge. And I'm going to pop that just a tiny little bit away from the top and the sides, like so. Like that. So it still opens, but it's going to be stuck down quite well. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Go. Now these envelopes, what I'm going to do is just stick down the middle portion and the bottom. And this is where it starts to stick a little bit. I don't know whether you can hear the rain. The heavens have opened. No, that's not wanting to come out, is it? Try that again. That's better. Now I sort of do a bit of a square in the middle because I want that to stick particularly well. Ooh, that is messy, isn't it? Okay, and then I'm going to stick that one down on top of that envelope. And I'm going to continue doing the same with these ones. Make sure that I've got, oh, now there you go. You need to make sure you've got the top open at the side, at the top end. So we're going to again just pop a little streak down the middle, one on the end, and sort of a square in the middle, and then stick that down on top like that. Pop a tiny bit more in that corner. Okay, and the last two, because you want those to fold together, just pop in a little bit glue again on the bottom, down the middle, and then that little box in the corner, and then you should just be able to close it and squish it together. And then we're going to leave it to dry. Okay, so now the glue is dry and the accordion folder can be filled with whatever you like. Doesn't that look pretty? And obviously you've got your ribbon there, so you can tie that and keep your cards or your ephemera or whatever you like nice and secure, and that keeps it all together. So there's the folder. And all that needs to be done now really is for you to find something nice to pop in it, and you could use just some inspirational quotes or maybe some cards or ephemera that you've made yourself, and you could, if you wanted to, just add some little handmade tabs out of pieces of card and maybe pop those onto each individual folder. You could colour coordinate them so that you know which one's which when you open it. But you don't have to, you could just leave it at that. So I hope that was helpful and that you might have a go at making that little envelope folder yourself. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Ashfield Festival if you've come from there. And if you haven't and you're just watching this video because maybe you're a subscriber or you just happen to have found my channel, then hi, thanks very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.